world.
Hi, we're the Care Kids.
Our parents are crazy. They want to take us on a year-long trip.
They call it an empathy expedition.
We're traveling the states to discover what makes us united.
50 states and 52 weeks.
And I saw you, 'cause I wanna be like the wind. I wanna run with you. Oh, we can be wolves, howling at the great white moon. I wanna be by your side when we light up the sky for the world to see. Run, 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 run with me.
We're in Atlanta, Georgia in Coke World.
We went to Atlanta. We saw a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, it's a fun city. Atlanta is so user-friendly. All of the main tourist attractions are all close to each other, which, like, the best museums are all on the same block, which is crazy. You don't find that anywhere else.
Yeah, they have an amazing aquarium. And they have Coke World.
We're ready to go inside Coke World, and we got our complimentary Cokes already. Oh, here we go. We're going in.
The Coke World Museum was super fun. They take you through the history of Coca-Cola and they let you watch all the old commercials, a lot of which I remember from childhood. I'd like to buy the world a Coke. Do you remember that
I
from like the
totally remember
70s?
that, yeah.
It was a total flashback. So those were really fun to see, all the old Coke commercials. They were much more dramatic and, like, you know.
That's one thing that I think overall Coke has done really, really well is market. I'm not even a Coke drinker, and we're sitting there watching the commercials, and there's this huge screen, and they start showing all these just different experiences, and Coke is kind of just part of the experience in each of these different instances.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me, like, almost emotional. I was just like,
I cried. I totally cried. Yeah.
and it made me laugh because I'm like, I don't drink soda. Like, I'm not a soda drinker.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I just don't drink it. And
They just make it look like it's part of your daily life,
Yeah.
right? There's this soldier coming home from war, and there he is with his family, and they've all got Coke, and you know, graduating from high school, and there's your Coke, and you know.
It's funny because
Yeah.
it is part of, like, the American experience.
It's just a part of our social experience, right? That we have get-togethers and there are drinks involved.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we go to public places with friends and with family and build memories, and there are drinks involved.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, Coke's just a part of. It is a part of the American experience.
It
I
really
think.
is.
We're going in the place where you can taste Coke and other Coke products around the world.
The best part of the Coke World Tour, hello, the very end, all you can drink soda bar. You go around with a cup to all these little, they have probably, I don't know, maybe over 100 different things, and it's all the Coke products from around the world.
Asia. We gotta get a cup first, but we're probably gonna start in Asia.
This is my favorite part of the all you can drink soda fountain at the end, is the lady who has to walk around. Her full-time job is to mop after all these sticky little people spilling their Coke products all over the floor. You're like, oh man.
She just starts at one end and cleans, and then gets to the other, and then starts at the same end and cleans.
Yeah, it is the sticky job that never ends.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on, my friend. The aquarium was basically an indoor SeaWorld. It was amazing. There was this cool dolphin show, a dolphin celebration of sorts, as the lady announced it. They had indoor whales, and then they had just amazing exhibits all over the place. Every sort of marine animal that you can imagine.
It was
Indoors.
incredible. Indoors.
Yeah.
And then there was the Martin Luther King Civil Rights Museum, which was incredible. As you go in, you're kind of in this dark area, and then as you go throughout the museum, you slowly go up, and eventually you're in kind of a bright room, and it was just a visceral experience. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure. As you enter, there's a beautiful gift shop, and then just past that, there's a lunch counter exhibit where the kids were able to sit on a lunch counter as if they were at a sit-in and they asked them to put their hands on the countertop and put some headphones on, and it gives me chills just talking about it, because it was exactly that. It was just such an emotional, visceral experience to sit there and listen to the voices of people taunting you and telling you to get up and to move out and to to stay seated for a minute and just listen to the emotions that come with that experience. Yeah, it was intense.
It was.
Yeah.
In fact, AJ, she sat there with the headphones on for just a couple minutes, and after that, just didn't want to take it anymore. She was so moved. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was in tears by the time it finished. It was hard to listen to, and just to imagine what it may have felt like, just a tiny inkling of what it may have felt like to have been that courageous to sit at a sit-in.
We are at the Crab Shack on Tybee Island.
We're going to try a boil. Have you tried a boil before?
No.
Do you know what a boil is?
No.
Asa, boil is when they stick a bunch of yummy stuff in the boiler at the same time. Corn, shrimp, crab legs, mussels, oysters, and shrimp, and sausage.
I've tried lobster before. Crab, it's gonna have some muscles. Alright, you just take the leg off?
Sure, we can do that.
Yeah. There we go. Mussels are pretty good too. I tried crab.
I tried shrimp.
Crab.
I tried clams, and I tried crawfish, and I tried crab and lobster and shrimp, and that's about all there was.
And what do you think?
They were all good.
Mills, what'd you try?
The mac and cheese and just the crab.
One of the most beautiful cities that we went to on the entire trip was Savannah, Georgia. Oh my goodness. The Spanish moss hanging from the trees. The whole city just looks like someone laid lace over it, and it just is so quaint and beautiful.
I'm gonna go walk around the world.
You what?
I'm gonna go walk around the world.
We're in Americus, Georgia, at the Global Village and Discovery Center for the Habitat for Humanity.
By using my passport. Also, they have houses from around the world.
This is $1. It is worth 100 pennies, or 4 quarters. And an estimated 1.2 billion people live off only $1 per day.
One of the things that we saw in Georgia that really was moving to us was going to the headquarters of Habitat for Humanity.
The village that we went to when we were in Americus was super awesome. They built, how many homes were there?
I think there were 30?
Maybe 30?
Yeah. They had, so you started out in this area that kind of represents the housing throughout the world that is kind of makeshift tenant housing. And you see the things that we would throw away being utilized as housing.
In Lima, Peru, it's estimated that the cost of an urban piece of property is $1,231, equivalent to 31 times the monthly minimum wage. And on average, it takes 728 administrative steps over 3 years to acquire a piece of property. So families settle in places like this expecting it to be temporary, only to find multiple economic and administrative barriers to improving their lives. Imagine trying to build a future for yourself and your family while living here. Imagine watching your spouse and children suffer exposure to freezing temperatures, sweltering heat, insects, and disease. Imagine feeling helpless against it all. Do you think you might feel helpless if you live somewhere like this and you could barely afford to feed your family? Yes. I think you might feel like, gosh, how will we ever get out of this situation if we can barely get food? Make you sad? Yeah. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Do you think there's something that people can do to help? You do? I think they really restore a lot of dignity and hope in people's lives. That's their goal, and I think they totally achieve it. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to imagine not having adequate housing, but then when you go there, it's beautiful to think of the gratitude that you'd have for an adequate house. Like, it just would be such a beautiful gift.
Malawi,
Botswana.
Kenya,
Ghana,
Zambia,
Uganda.
Haiti,
Egypt,
Mexico,
India.
Democratic Republic of Congo,
South Africa,
Papua New Guinea,
Sri Lanka.
Guatemala.
It was really interesting. It was amazing to see this place and the outreach that they've had.
Yeah, they've built 800,000 homes since their inception in 1976, and the homes, they have this process that they go through. The people who qualify for the homes, they have to be able to pay a mortgage, and that's based on their current income, and they have to also donate 500 hours of their time towards building either their home or other people's homes.
It really makes you think about just different people, the way that different people live, and the ability that we have as people to sometimes to encourage that and sometimes to discourage that. I think that was one of the things that stuck out to me from the Civil Rights Museum, going and seeing the different ways that people suppressed each other, to going to Habitat for Humanity and seeing the different ways that people support each other.
Yeah, that was an interesting juxtaposition for sure, because those were like back to back, day to day. We were at the Civil Rights Museum one day and then Habitat for Humanity the next day, like the best of humanity and the worst of humanity, all within a couple of days, and all in the same beautiful state. And I think it's just another one of those things that goes to show that there's good out there and there's bad out there, and if you want to see the good, you'll find it.
Yeah.
And if you want to, look in history, and there's always plenty of bad as well, and learning from the bad, and that's probably what the people who are building for Habitat for Humanity have done. They've learned from past mistakes of humanity and learned that building humanity is much better than breaking it down. Everyone wins.
So there's a light bulb. What's that for?
But as you can probably tell, this is home of no electricity. So it says on a sign out there that it's not uncommon for light bulbs or even broken televisions to be in the homes. It symbolizes a hope for a better tomorrow.
Georgia.
Georgia, sweet Georgia. In Georgia, there was so much to see and do.
Say that again. Sounds like.
Okay. Georgia. Georgia, sweet Georgia.